Hey everyone, welcome to Friday PM. It's a new season, it's a new set, and I'm here with our director, Warren Edgar. Good to see you, Warren.
Good to see you.
Warren is our director here, and we're testing out some new lighting schemes, opening up the space a little bit. I hope you guys like it at home. I think it's going to look very cool. But Warren, we're going to talk to him a little bit also about other projects that Warren directs. He's been here at PMC and working at Lion E Media for several years now. But let's talk a little bit about a couple of the shows. But one of the shows you want to focus on talking about, you've been doing Pathways to Progress with several city councilors. I think it's expanded a little bit.
It has. So Lisa Savage, who you might know, she ran for state senate a little while back as the Green Party candidate and got a pretty significant amount of the vote. She's an educator. She has a new book out. And Lisa Savage, she sits down mostly with two city councilors, Roberto and Victoria Pelletier. And in some episodes, we have fill-in counselors if one can't make it. We've had Regina Phillips, who's been really amazing. We've had April Fournier, who's also been really amazing. And it's been really awesome to, basically the show is that the counselors come on and here's what's happening in Portland. These are the issues that Portlanders are facing. Lisa asks them, how can we address these questions? We talk about housing. We talk about the economy. We talk about the homeless problem. We've talked about a lot on the show.
A lot of things have been talked about.
It's 30 minutes. It's live. Sometimes we go out on the street and we talk to regular people and we go, hey, what do you want to ask your counselor? Our most recent episode was about the Museum of Art. The Museum of Art a while ago bought the Children's Museum right next door, and now they want to tear it down to build something new. And the building is historic and they need to go to the city council to get a permit. And Lisa wanted to get their take on it. We went out on the street. We asked people, what do they think? And then we got the councilors' opinions on it as well.
Well, so that's an interesting question. So the Children's Museum was not, it was right there side by side. It wasn't owned by the museum before. They were two kind of separate things.
They were two entities, and then I don't know the exact, I think 2019, I probably am wrong about that. The Portland Museum of Art bought out that area, and now the Children's Museum is down by...
Oh, that's that Thompson's Point area. You're right. And it's expanded, I think. I haven't been there. So that does lead us to an interesting point about Pathways of Progress. It's a very progressive natured show. I mean, so they're kind of in that position, for example, they're trying to make sure that, the developers aren't, tearing things down that are good for the city. I mean, what's kind of the ethos of Pathways of Progress? So if you're watching, like it, hate it. Maybe some people will watch it because they really like what they have to say. Some people might watch it because they don't like what they have to say.
Yeah,
but at least they're watching.
We get both.
Right,
we get a lot of. We get there's a lot of Northern Republicans who watch the show, and they're like, oh, yada yada yada, and they have their things to say about it. And then we get some really progressive liberals here in Portland who watch the show and they love it. And it's kind of funny. We get all sides of the political spectrum that watch the show.
And so a lot of times, and you can never be all things to everybody. So sometimes the water's too hot, sometimes it's too cold, depending on who it is. They're not doing enough. But Lisa and the city councilors are oftentimes pretty progressive people. They're Democrats, and they talk about different issues that go on. How many years has the show been on now?
So we're going on our third season right now. It's been on for a while now. It was originally began in 2021, where our creator and former executive producer Gio Sangiovanni helped create the show. And he went out to Lisa Savage. He was good friends with her and said, hey, we want to do a progressive show where you talk about progressive topics here in Portland. We had Victoria Pelletier and Roberto Rodriguez had just won their seat for city council. And we had done a panel discussion with them, and we basically went to them and said, hey, how would you like to be on this show talking about Portland issues? And it spun off from there. And I mean, it's been every month. Sadly, Gio Sangiovanni is no longer with the show.
You took over as the director at that
Well,
time.
I was the director. I came on as the director for the first shows, and then I assumed the role as executive producer next to Lisa, who also serves as the other executive producer on the show.
Yeah. So it's been a couple of years. It's taken on a life of its own. And you guys have been involved in a lot of the different issues. What are some notable issues that you remember? I think you guys talked a lot about what had gone on with the homeless camps. That was a big issue that was happening. I think you guys even did something about some Middle Eastern policy even. So
We did, yeah.
so-
No, it's the Portland City Council did a Gaza resolution,
right.
and you can see that as you will.
Both sides of the
and we talked to the city councilors about why they decided to make that decision. What compelled them to do that, the messaging behind it, how other states had done similar things, and no, it was a really good in-depth discussion.
I feel like, the show, the city councilors are almost the guests.
Yeah.
But the show is really about Lisa, really about yourself behind the scenes. So I think that, it could go on with different councilors and maybe that would add some fresh ideas, because I think they want to move in and out of things in the private sectors depending on who comes in. And you've had good times with a lot of the other folks that have subbed in, like Regina. Did you say
Phillips.
April also?
April
Fournier?
Fournier has
She's
been on the
jumped
show.
on a show once or twice.
We've been really fortunate to have city councilors on the show that I think have made a great difference in talking to people through this show.
Yeah.
And I think it's a great medium where it's a way to connect with your councilors, because you might not even know who they are. You might not,
right.
really know much about them. And if every month I can tune in and I can watch them talk about issues that are affecting me, I think that's really big.
Yeah, and I think they probably know who they are by name because they end up voting for the person. They see a sign while they're driving down the street, but I wouldn't know who any of the people are. But you could put a face and just an understanding who they are as people.
Yeah.
And I think that show's really good about that, to be in a way to get people to get to really know these people as people in the city, as your neighbors.
Yep.
And is there any last thing about Lisa? Because I know Lisa's a great part of the show. What's she's writing a book now, some other interesting things?
Yeah, no, she wrote a book and she's looking to get it published. It's called Heaven Spelled Backwards.
Okay.
Lisa Savage, she's doing her thing.
Yeah,
I can't really speak to her or what plans she has, but she's doing Pathways to Progress, and every month she comes
And she'll
on.
be the permanent host for as long as we can envision.
For as long as
She's
Pathways to Progress
one of the
goes.
co-creators.
She is one of the she helped create the show. I mean, it was, in many ways, it was me, Gio San Giovanni, and Lisa.
Right. So
I did the production and they did the coordinating of
as long as the team's still here, they'll be on Channel 5. You got to watch these guys every Friday night. It's on every Friday. Are the
It's
repeats
on
or?
every Friday, and we are live with a new episode every second Friday of the month,
Second Friday of the
7 p.m.
Yep.
And then you can also watch PMCWatch.com or on YouTube.
On YouTube.
Yep.
Check these guys out. I want to thank you very much, Warren, for coming
Thank
down
you.
here. I hope you guys like the new set. Keep watching. We'll be right back.